Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance, and also this channel. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. Also, I want to let you know I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. And I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use it to start an account and you'll get 2 free stocks. And I provided a link also for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and you'll get 1 free stock. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here also. Alright, so let's get into the market today. Today is August 10th, 2021. It is Tuesday, and you can see here the S&P 500 is up 0.17%. The Dow is also up almost 0.5% here. But the NASDAQ is selling off today, down almost 0.5% there at 0.40%. So kind of a mixed day in the market today. You had a lot of volatility this morning, and everything seems to be flattening out right now. Okay, so hopefully the rest of the week finishes out nicely for everyone. And let's get into the stock I wanted to take a look at today. Today I want to go over Amazon. I haven't covered them since their latest earnings report, and I got to also request from a viewer to go over their charts. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I've done a couple videos on Amazon in the past. I'll provide a link in the upper right hand corner. You should be seeing that now. And if you want, you could go back and check that video out and the other videos also to see how I got to where my chart is today. Alright, so let's get into Amazon. Today they are currently trading at the time of this recording at $3,320 and around 80 cents. They are down on the day $21.06, which is the equivalent of about 0.65%. So, in the past week here, this stock is down 1.77%, so 1.75%. In the past month, however, this stock is down almost 11% at 10.97%. All right, and a lot of that had to do with the earnings that came out, where they dropped 7% in one day after their earnings report. All right, but in the past 3 months, it's actually up 1.13%. So, that just shows you how flat this stock was before this, and it was on a little bit of a run right before their earnings, and their earnings came out and it just dropped the stock completely over 7%. All right, but in the past year they are still up 4.71%. So you're not really getting a lot of return on your money with in the past year like you would normally get with a company like Amazon. This is the biggest company in the world next to Apple, I think. Those are the 2 biggest companies, so you would expect a lot of return on your money, and 4%, that's just not good enough for a company like Amazon, because as you can see, this stock has been trading sideways since July of last year, and it's been stuck in between a support and a resistance area that it was unable to break out of for a year. So it was just going up and down between these 2 lines here, and then finally, just right at the end of June here, so about a month ago, little over a month ago here, it finally broke out of that channel to trade up, and then it just got knocked right back into that channel after their earnings report. So, it's not been going good for Amazon this past year, and hopefully, we can see some more better returns for the investors out there. But let's get into the chart here, and we'll take a look at what I'm talking about. And you can see here, the 52-week high is $3,773.08, and they hit that on July 13th. Okay, so just about a month ago, they hit their 52-week high, like I said. they finally broke out of that channel they were in, and they were on a rally, and the stock was moving higher, hitting higher highs and higher lows until the earnings came out, and they did not have good guidance. They missed on their revenue, and the stock just sold off completely, 7% in one day for Amazon. I don't think you'll ever see that again, so unless they miss on their earnings again. Okay, but that does not normally happen for a company like this. So let's take a look at the chart here. You could see I have my high resistance point at around $3,730. That's where it needs to close the day above and hold above there if we want to move on to see new highs, because as you could see, it got above that point during intraday trading, but it was unable to close a day out above that point. So that's where we need to see this thing retest and hold if we want to see it move on higher than that. All right. The next support level I had was the former highs that it was making, and that was around $3,535. That was the point, the top resistance point before it broke out, and it was unable to break out of that resistance point. It hit it a couple times, as you can see right back here in September of last year. We tried to retest about a month later in October, couldn't get all the way back up to there, and then you saw it come back up in May of this year, only to sell off again. And then finally we came back to that level in June here, and you could see that it finally, it sold off a little bit, and then it popped right through there before going on that run. So that was a very tough resistance point for this stock that it finally broke through, only to fall back down below there now. So now we are sitting at a support, which is around $3,000 or $3,300. So $3,300. That's where we're sitting at support right now after this big sell-off after earnings. And as you could see, that is very close to where our 200-day moving average is sitting. The 200-day moving average on my chart is this yellow line right here. Okay, so we are very close to that, and our support line is going to be right above that right now. So hopefully we could hold this level at support and have a nice bounce off of this. If we do not, though, our next support level, which is a very strong support that we've traded down to a lot of times here, you could see all the touches off this support line at $3,000. That's where very strong support comes in. A lot of buyers at that area are there to push the stock back up if it does fall back to that level. Okay, you could see the touches off the line, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And every time it came down to that area, you had a very nice bounce off of that support. So if it does trade below this support and our trend line here, which I'll get into in a minute, we can be expecting it to drop down to around that $3,000 level. But again, it would have to fall below its 200-day moving average here on the daily chart, and also our trend line, which is right around where our 200-day moving average is. So I'm not expecting that to happen, but you never know. I wasn't expecting a 7% sell-off after earnings, and we saw that. So anything can happen in this market. But let's get into my trend line here. You can see this white line. I've drawn a trend. That's going back to around April of 2020, right before it broke out to the upside after COVID happened, after the lows of COVID, you can see here. So it started in this uptrend where it's been hitting higher highs and higher lows here. We were just able to hold on to this trend after the sell-off here, and it appears that our trend is holding for now. We need to see this thing continue along this trend line to the upside here for it to hold. If not, I would expect it to break this 200-day moving average, which is pretty much in line with our trend line here, and fall back down to 3,000. So it's going to be very important we hold on to this trend line. As you can see, we've had some nice bounces off of the trend line where it started here. We have a touch here, which was back in March of this year, and we had a nice recovery. We had a touch here, and then we had a nice recovery after this touch. So hopefully we're going to be looking at a nice, another touch off this trend line and then a nice recovery back to the upside. All right. So let's go and take a look at our weekly chart here, see what we could find on this one. And looks like, on our weekly chart, we are being supported by our 50-day moving average, which is here in the blue. See, this blue line here is our 50-day moving average on our weekly chart, and that has been acting as support since the lows of COVID here. We've never closed a week below there, so I would expect this to continue on as support, as it does follow our trend line also. So keep an eye on that as support. If we get down to this blue 50-day moving average on the weekly chart, that would be a good time to jump into a trade or buy the stock if you're looking for an entry. So keep watching that. We're also being supported by, it looks like, our 30-day moving average also, which is this green line that you can't really see because they're kind of all bunched together here. But it looks like we haven't fallen below the 30-day moving average. We haven't closed a week below there since around April of 2021. So a couple months ago, this thing's been acting as support since then. So keep an eye on that also. It looks like we're getting pretty close to there, and it looks like we're getting pretty close to our support here around $3,000. So I'll be watching for that to see if it breaks below there or closes the week out below there. And then we'll move on to our 50-day moving average here. So just keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on that support level, mostly around 3,000, because that's kind of where everything is coming together right now. You see our trend lines there, our 30-day moving average, and our 50-day moving average is pretty close to that also on our weekly chart. So I'm just going to switch back over to the daily chart because I forgot to cover the moving averages here. And you could see we are below our 50-day moving average on our daily chart here in the blue. We're below our 21-day here in the light blue, and our 30-day in the green. Also, we're trading below our 8-day moving average in the white here. So it's not looking good right now. We need to get a little bit of momentum behind this stock. I'm just going to pull up the RSI right here just to take a look at what that's looking like, because last time I looked at it was oversold, and it looks like it's still in that oversold area here. You could see every time it gets down to this level, which is around 34 right here, you could see when we we're around that level back in February here, early March, we had a nice bounce and recovery. So every time it looks like it gets down to that level, just like back in COVID, when the lows of COVID happened, we were trading around this level in the RSI. Also, we had a big bounce then. So just keep an eye on the RSI. That's also another good indicator to go off of when things sell off like this. Once they get into that oversold territory, that's a good time to buy also, or enter a trade long. All right. So I'm just going to switch over to the 4-hour chart, and we'll check on that, see what's going on there. And, it looks like the daily chart, we're under all of our moving averages. 200-day moving average, we're also under on the 4-hour chart. So we need definitely some momentum. We need some buyers to step in and hopefully, bounce this stock off of this support and have a nice recovery. All right. And that's about it for this one. Not much more to cover on this. We'll just keep watching it, see if our moving averages hold up and our support level in the next couple weeks here. So if you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on Chart Stoppers.